But it's interesting that a private equity funded company is doing that. So can you give us a little bit of a view as to how innovation occurs in a private equity funded enterprise? And part B of that question is, what does it take to develop new materials today? Because if you think about new materials development 50 years ago, I mean, these were, I started my career in ConocoPhillips in Bartlesville, where polyethylene was invented. I mean, we were talking about hundreds of chemists working around the clock, developing these materials. We probably don't do that today. So I'm curious how it's done today.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you for the question. And just to kind of set things in perspective, right? So if you just look at our main markets, okay, so we are big time into safety components. So if you look at airbag systems, okay, over 50% of the airbags get made by polymer that gets made by us, okay, around the world, okay? And these are highly specialty materials. If you look at zip ties, 70% of the world's zip ties comes from polymers that we make, okay? So when you think about it, your question is what drives innovation, right? So for us, it's always market-driven. What does the market need? And oftentimes, more often than not, in order to be successful, you really got to sit down with the customers, understand where they're headed, what's the multi-generation product planning for them, so that you know it, and therefore, you're working with them, and oftentimes it's hard for them to define what is a specific material they want, because if they have defined the material, you're already too late to the game, right? What they're defining is a problem they got to solve, the function they want to get to.
Yeah.
So that's what we've been working on, and that's the way. And so fundamentally, we've got short, medium, and long-range plans. Okay, and the key thing you're asking is how does it work in private equity? It's all about kind of showing that there's a pathway. Okay, because and we are a very unique private equity because SK Capital's actually held us for 14 years now. It's a long time for a private equity to hold somebody. And that's because they see the returns every year. And the reason it works out is, there is nothing like, hey, give me 5 years to get me the development. So that's why we have a pathway saying that what can I give you today as incremental improvements? How can I give you much more of a performance improvement tomorrow, and what can I do from a step change improvement day after? So that's how we've set it up, and it actually works out very well because it gives enough time and enough breathing room for our platform teams to kind of come with the new polymers and copolymers. And while we've got the product team that's already working on what is required for today and tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, SK pioneered the whole chemical-focused specialty private equity fund, and so they probably understand through multiple investments in the chemical space that innovation plays a very critical role.
Indeed.